but it was important to take the necessary amount of time, do due diligence in putting together what I think will be a winning combination. I think we've always had good coaches. I think we've always had good people, but sometimes the chemistry of the staff isn't exactly right. And I think dysfunction may be too strong a word, but when it's not functioning at the highest level, it leaks down into the program, and it isn't anybody's fault, but it is correctable, and it has to be corrected, and that responsibility falls on me. And so I, at the conclusion of the season, looked around and tried to make the necessary adjustments, and those are sometimes painful, most of the time painful, especially when you're dealing with great people, as is the case with the guys that I let go and so forth. So I've been working to try to put back together what I think will be a formidable staff, one that will communicate well with the players, one that will do a great job out recruiting and sharing the vision of UCLA and our football program, and one that will get along really, really well with one another and check egos at the door, and we will fly as we go down the road. So I'm looking forward to seeing if that can't be the case. Obviously, we're not done yet, but I think we've made a key hire here today. Actually, we made the hire on Thursday, announced it today, but in Mike Johnson. Mike and I go way back, and he'll tell you more, but we met when Mike was a quarterback at Arizona State, and I was still trying to make some money playing the game in the old USFL, and we were out throwing the ball together. He was a quarterback there, and I was teaching him how to do a 5-step drop to throw it out, how to kick step it towards there, and he listened to me. So that's one of the few guys that ever did, so I decided I should be buddies with him. And anyway, down the road at Washington, it was I became very aware that there was somebody kicking our tail in Los Angeles in the recruiting department, and it was Mike at Oregon State. I think in that game where Oregon State played Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl, I think 16 of 22 starters for the Beavers that day were Mike Johnson recruits. And so I tried to steal him away from Oregon State at the time. I think it was Dennis. It was at the time when I made the call. But at that time, Mike Riley was on his way, had left to go to the Chargers, and Mike was close to going with him when he originally left. Well, now he came and got him. So Mike began a very interesting and beneficial NFL career, which then landed us together in Baltimore. And we worked right across the office from each other, and obviously admired what he did there, and just knew that if circumstances were ever in such a way where he would become available, he'd be a guy that I'd want to have with me here, and such was the case. So I'm excited to name him. He's going to coach the wide receivers. He'll be our offensive coordinator. He'll be absolutely integral part of everything we do offensively, and I think it's going to be very exciting to see what we can do. I'm also going to name myself the quarterback coach. I'm going to go back to what I've done. When you're not doing things as well as you'd like, one thing we all do is go back to our comfort zone, and my comfort zone is coaching those guys. It isn't anything negative towards the way they've been coached. It's just when I think I can fix things, I want to fix them, and you want to get your hands dirty. So I've made the decision that that's what I'm going to do. I'll live and die with it, as they say, but I know I can coach these guys, and I know I can coach them well. So I'm looking forward to that responsibility, and Mike's comfortable with that. That was my job at the Ravens, and when he was the wide receiver coach, and we worked well with one another. So excited about putting that combination back together. With respect to Norm, I know the question will come. We are having ongoing discussions as to how this will all work, and hopefully that will resolve itself here quickly. We're going to work through that. Certainly Mike had ample opportunity to call plays this year with the 49ers. I know I have the ability to call plays, but I think both of us, having known each other and trusting each other, I think we're going to play off each other in that regard. when I was with Carl Durrell early in my career, we shared that duty. It didn't matter who called it. We just kind of were thinking along the line and having an open conversation as we were going, and I think that results from collaboration throughout the week. So we kind of got a feel as to how it goes. But certainly, I have zero problem in turning the keys over to Mike and go get it done, and he lets me jump in. Either that or he presses mute, and then I just think that we've got a problem in the communication.
How's the game plan going to go? Is it going to be you? Is it going to be him? Collaborative?
Collaborative, absolutely. We trust each other, and that's a good thing.
Rick, if Mike was so high on your list, why are you hiring a guy 2 months after you basically said, you're going to start this process?
Oh, I think that you just hit the nail on the head. It's a process. There are some things that have to be dealt with as you try to put pieces in place, and it takes a great deal of thought and careful deliberation before you come up with the perfect formula. And I didn't anticipate it taking this long, but just to get it right, it was worth waiting.
So Mike's hire doesn't mean there's a resolution with Norm?
It does not indicate anything with regard to Norm. Norm's conversations with the university are still ongoing. We're working that through, and right now Norm's still part of our staff.
You mentioned checking egos at the door. Was that a problem last year?
When I said it, I knew that would be a question. The answer is no. But I think it's important that we leave that room united. And that's not to say that it wasn't the case, but I think we can do better in that regard.
Is that a reflection of the debates about the pistol offense and who?
No. I think we all bought into the pistol offense. There's no finger pointing at all with regard to that. I think retrospectively we'd wonder if it was exactly the thing to do, but I think we all bought in, and so I don't think there's any finger pointing at all to anybody about that.
What offense are you going to run?
We're going to put it together.
What offense have you decided?
We certainly want the ability to throw the ball and throw it effectively. We do not want to throw the baby out with the bathwater in what we developed as a running offense because of the increase of productivity in how we ran. I don't know that we'll have the flashy name for our offense, but hopefully we'll develop one as people see that it's producing and becoming one of the top offenses in the Pac-12. That's the goal, is to be one of the top offenses in the conference. Don't want to lose what we got done in the rushing department. Got up to 170 yards a game. We'd take those numbers today. But we need to get back up in the top 3 or 4 and throwing the ball as we were the year before. And find ways to stay on the field. Third down offense will be critical, in terms of staying where you need to be.
Well, I was just hired Thursday.
Good point.
So, the last couple of months I've been with San Francisco 49ers. And now that I'm here, I'm excited. Next week and a half, I'm going to go out and beat the streets of LA and see if we can get a couple guys in our boat and recruit. And then once that process is over, then we're going to sit down and get started on the offense and develop an offense that can be effective, be diverse, be multiple, both running and passing, and make sure that we
marry the two.
Yep. and detail it. Make sure that we have the fundamentals and the techniques and everything's taught properly, and we are able to execute football plays.
Can you talk about a little bit about your offensive philosophy or kind of what you hope to bring?
Well, I hope to bring a discipline, a fundamental base, structured offense. And Rick and I and the rest of the coaching staff on offense, we're going to put together an offense that can run and throw effectively, and making sure that we can throw it and catch it and everybody's at the right depths and quarterback's getting the ball out of his hands and running backs are running, linemen are blocking, and giving ourselves the best chance to win. And that's what we're going to do. And I'm a believer that you look at the personnel you have and then you develop a offense around the people. And there's plenty of knowledge in the room to develop that. And as the personnel changes, then maybe the offense changes. But the main focus is to be able to execute football plays.